Ready?
Yes, sir.
Recite your baseline.
In blood-black nothingness began to spin. A system of cells interlinked within cells, interlinked within cells, interlinked within one stem. And dreadfully distinct against the dark, a tall white fountain played.
Cells.
Cells.
Have you ever been in an institution? Cells.
Cells.
Do they keep you in a cell? Cells.
Cells.
When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells.
Cells.
Interlinked.
Interlinked.
Within cells interlinked.
Within cells interlinked.
Why don't you say that 3 times? Within cells interlinked.
Within cells interlinked. Within cells interlinked. Within cells interlinked.
We're done.
What's going on, everyone? Kaneda here. If my fitness journey has amounted to anything, you'll be questioning if I'm a Bladerunner or a replicant. But really, I'm just here to talk to you about how I lost 90 pounds at home and I used movies as motivation to help me. I know a lot of you have asked me for an how-to video, and the only way I could really be able to do this would be to show and thank all the people that helped me along the way. You know how this story begins. Come 2020, peak depression, started the pandemic. It was rough. I was drinking every day. I was ordering food from every place I could think of, Burger King onion rings or Wendy's fries. And I would time it to the driver. I could pick up a 12-pack of Boston cream donuts on the way over. I just need something sweet, you know. The last time I looked in the mirror, it was March. I was weighing 280 pounds. And then I continued to eat for another 3 weeks just to get it out of my system because, you know, that's how it is. But I finally felt like this was the time. You know, in a way, the pandemic felt like time just stopped. It was my hyperbolic time chamber. And I said, enough. I'm tired of getting up. My bones hurting. My joints are hurting. I can't run anymore. I can't jump anymore. All I do is just come home, watch TV, eat and drink. And I'm like out of breath every time I have to get up and walk far. And here I look on the TV, and I see LeBron James. He's a few years older than me. I was in tournaments playing basketball with this dude in high school. And you know what? He was dunking. And back then I could dunk. And now I see him still dunking. And my body is just given out on me. And I said, okay, if he's doing it, I can do it. You know, I took inspiration from that. And I saw that he spends $1.5 million on his body annually, physical therapist, mental health, etc. And here I am spending all this money on vodka and onion rings. You know, like but that inspiration wasn't enough. You know, whenever I've been down and out, the one thing I always fell back on have been movies, TV shows. They've always been there for me. And that's kind of how this channel started. When I was unemployed, I watched every single movie on Netflix. You know, like I've always loved them. And speaking of love, like it's kind of like the Netflix show Love, when the girlfriend dumps him and she says, "All you are, boxes of DVDs." And I saw that, yeah, that's me too. But you know, like I said, I've always looked up to these movies, and you see some of the best physiques on there. And you ask anyone, you know, 10 years ago, that the only body that anyone ever wanted was Brad Pitt Fight Club. And that's what really got a lot of people to start working out. But now, you know, we see so many superhero physiques. I'll never forget the time that I met Chris Hemsworth when I was working in New York, and he came into our store, and I ran up to him. I was like, "Brother, dude was jacked, and he had just shot Thor. He was huge. He was so impressive." I was like, "Okay." Then I had to run because the burger shop I was going to was 4 avenues away, and I only had 60 minutes for lunch. But anyway, you know, I'm sure he thinks of me all the time. But I see all these transformations that these actors go through, and I said, "Okay, I can do that too. I'm going to use this hyperbolic time chamber to make this change while no one's looking." And then I looked back at LeBron, and I saw like how he surrounds himself with a great team of people. And I decided that I'm going to use like my movies as my team of motivation, keep me going every single day. And I knew I had to start small. And I knew I was starting kind of like from a dark place. I started watching interviews from Chris Pine when he was doing Outlaw King. And I saw that he really referenced getting to this place of, you know, being a man who was broken down and having to just slowly crawl out of this cave to the light. Start walking, then you start running. And I said, okay, I'm going to start walking 5 miles a day until I can run 5. And trust me, I was puking every time I tried to run. And, one of my favorite movies is Blade Runner and 2049. So I would just listen to that soundtrack every single time I would run. And I said, okay, I'm going to be a Blade Runner. I'm going to train to be a Blade Runner. I'm going to be so fast, people are going to think I'm a replicant. And I was just using that as my motivation every single day. But that only lasted so long. So I had to add another member to my team. And who else other than the Terminator, Arnold himself? I was watching those movies. I'm watching Pump and Iron. And I just started really listening to his speeches, Like I'd listen to them running. And trust me, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you start listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger say like, I believe 2 more, no, 10 more. And, as it goes on, I started getting more and more excited for every single run because I knew every workout was getting me closer to my goal, which was 230 pounds because, let's be honest, I've always been a yo-yo dieter. Like I'll lose 20 pounds, feel great, take a photo, post it on Instagram, then you won't see me because I'm stuffing my face. And by the end of the year, I'm 10 pounds heavier than I was the year before. And it just like kept going up. So after a while, the running got easier and easier. I was getting faster and faster. But like my body was just really wearing down. So I said, okay, I'm going to start lifting some weights. And I just started ordering more and more. And as the winter months arrived, I started lifting more. I was doing more workouts that I found on the Shred app, which would help me burn a ton of calories. And I was just like, okay, whatever body comes from this is the body I'd get. And, I would have lapses of motivation. So I was like, okay, I got to add another member to the team. And, who else better than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? I've been listening to him since I was a kid, watching SmackDown on Thursdays, and everyone at school was making fun of me, calling me titties because I had man breasts. So, The Rock has always been there for me. And, when you're getting up 5 o'clock in the morning and you're listening to this dude, it's like, oh yeah, this workout's going to be so good. It's bad. He just really gets you motivated. And like I said, he started from nothing and he made himself into something. So it's just a great person to have on your team. And then I started taking more inspiration from him. So I hooked up my projector into the garage and I would play scenes from my favorite movies just to like fully immerse myself. Like I'm not going to the gym. I had to make this my world, make it fun. And I would pretend that I'm trying to get into Gattaca. I'm in Akira. I'm in Blade Runner. I'm in the cold, beating the brakes off of Batman. Peace has caused your strength. Victory has defeated you. Like all this time I'm working out and I'm like living in these movies. But at the same time, I'm solely focused on the number, on the scale. I wasn't really paying attention to my body, the physique, because the diet I was doing, like I said, I was looking to all these, celebrity superhero workouts, and I'm doing the Alexander Skarsgård diet and Tarzan. And on top of that, I was still drinking on the weekends. But, through all that work, I did get down to 206, and I was happy because I hit the number. But I'm not gonna lie, like I felt and looked like Clayface. So I realized I need to do some research because the knowledge that I have was not really working for me. And I found these 2 channels that changed everything for me. More Plates, More Dates, and Greg Doucette. First video I saw from Derek from More Plates, More Dates basically explained that that Alexander Skarsgård diet does not work. Well, it might work, but it's not good for you. And then Greg Doucette just really helped filter out a lot of bad fitness information because like forever, there's always going to be bad fitness information out there. And both of them really just give you the honest truth. They break down the science. They give you diets that really help you out. And I'm telling you, that really just changed everything for me. I'm not going to spoil their diets. I mean, their diets because they have, they have the cookbooks and everything. All I'll say is just get the right nutrients in. You got to support this frame. It's energy in versus energy out. Once you learn those simples, you can use all the tools that they have to help you achieve the best body for you. Not necessarily the best superhero body, but they do help you get the best body for you. Because I think a common misconception that I even had for myself is you can't just like be like, I want to look like that, and then you're going to look like that. It's genetics as well. But yeah, but the big thing they really taught me was just not going balls to the walls every day. You don't need to be burning 5,000 calories every single day. And to be honest, my boy Gio told me this a long time ago, and I just didn't listen. I'm sorry. But I also saw that I needed to build this body up right. And I always enjoyed the science aspect of it. So through those channels, I started looking at bodybuilders, and I found Dorian Yates. The way he talks about building your body is like a soul endeavor. And this is a soul cleansing experience. And I often think about how one of our guest nerds, Nicole, talked about how intense physical pain can help overcome emotional trauma. And I've shared, a lot of my story on the channel, so you know how I've dealt with depression, anxiety, etc. If you watched our then review, you'd have a really good understanding of who I am as a person. But processing a lot of emotions. And now here I am at this place where I'm weighing my oats. I'm starting to eat right, but I still had to add another aspect. And I'm watching A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. And I said to myself, like, oh man, if I keep drinking, like, that's going to be me. And I listened to interviews of his, and he talked about how he realized he just needed to stop. And the same thing with Jared Leto. And I said, okay, I'm going to stop drinking. I'm around the same age. And I'm 150 days sober now. So I feel really proud of that. But I also used other tools to help me process those emotions. That's where the Peloton came in. I stopped running, started strictly going onto the Peloton. Whenever I was like feeling stressed out, and I'm like a stress eater or a stress drinker or whatever like that, I would just hop on the Peloton. And that became my cardio, because I definitely just destroyed my body running every single day. And Ben Aldis, your climbs got me through some tough times, man. I just wanted to thank you. But really, that bike taught me how to breathe and focus, pushing through. And when you think about all of our superheroes, the Speed Force, like the Flash, or even anime like Demon Slayer, that heightened sense is just another example of focus. And you'd be amazed what you can do, with that focus. As someone who's just suffered from anxiety like my whole life, I'll just say that focusing on it and then telling yourself that you can do another rep, or you can push through that 15 minutes to get to 30, when everything in your body and your mind saying that you can't, to overcome those thoughts of I can't to I can, to eventually like, what are we going to do today, is just, it's a very powerful thing. And like I said, I have my team of mentors. It's not just the body, it's the mind as well. Because like as I got closer and closer to like my ideal physique, or closer to my weight goals, I still didn't feel good inside about myself. I mean, you see Lebron has the Calm app. He talks about meditation all the time, and trust me, I've been in therapy my whole life. But there's a difference between knowing what to do and putting that into action. And I realized this is the time to put these things into action. I also needed to like build up that internal dialogue, that internal confidence. And I started watching every season of Queer Eye, and I'm telling you that like they just really showed me how to love yourself, and that's really more important than anything. It doesn't matter like what kind of body you want, as long as you love yourself for who you are and what you are, and you just get whatever best body is for you. That is more important than anything. These bodies just help us, experience this life. But, what goes on in here is everything. And I really learned a lot from them. But at the same time, I also needed that adrenaline shot. So I'd take these hot baths and just listen to Conor McGregor speeches, because he, constantly preaches about how to build up that internal dialogue, ignore the external, focus on your goals and like what you love in life. And you hear that man speak about life, man. It's just like, look at the house I'm living in. Look at the room I'm living in. Look at the bed I'm sleeping in. I'm on a third floor. I push the button. I go down from the third floor to the first floor. My God, we're eating good, out in the sun, stretching, jacuzzi, pool. I'm reaping the benefits of all my hard work. Like, it just, like he really teaches you to appreciate yourself, love what you do in life, and like the people around you, and all these experiences, and through all these members of my team, the people that I use or influence, I've only met Chris Helmsworth for 2 seconds, but, I haven't spoken to any of them, but their words can lead you through it, because at the end of the day, all these people, they may be larger than life, but they're still people too. And their experiences are real, and they show you the path. They really, really do. And The last thing I really say is constant repetition carries conviction. That's something that Conor McGregor talks about all the time. If you have a clear vision of your goal, stick with it every day, you'll get there. If you surround yourself with things that you love and are passionate about, well, it just makes things easier. And that's really helped me break that plateau of 230 pounds. I ended up getting all the way down to 190. And now I'm kind of around like 195, and I'm happy there. But like I said, I was able to stop drinking. I feel better about myself. I'm in the best health of my life. And I just, naturally, I want to keep working on this physique and see the things that I can do. I want to climb mountains, ride bikes, all the things that my body wouldn't allow me to do a year ago. And if anything, I don't know, I'm pretty shocked how far I've come mentally. The one thing I'll say is when I talk to people and they don't want to get started and they have a hard time getting started working out. Like everyone complains about doing 15-minute workout or a 30-minute workout, saying they don't have time. But then like a year later, they always say like, oh man, like where did the time go? There's no time like the present. Use whatever you can to motivate you and just get after it. I've always loved movies. They're part of my life. They're art. And I've always felt like they can change your life and really open your eyes and inspire you. And that's what really worked for me. So I'm really happy with how this has gone. If you want to see more of my journey, hear more from me, you can follow me on Instagram. I'd love to share some of the nerd stories, and some of them have gone through their own personal fitness journeys as well. But really, I just appreciate you guys listening and give me the opportunity to share my story. So thank you. Thank you, everyone who helped motivate me. Until the next time, I'll see you soon.